Good afternoon to you, our viewers. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. Coming up in Jamaica Magazine today, we hear from the Financial Investigations Division, FID, on how the Proceeds of Crime Act has been instrumental in the fight against financial crimes. We have lots more coming up. Stay tuned.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, January 26, 2023. Government will not be socializing the debt of failed financial institutions. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made that declaration on Tuesday as he addressed the opening of the Jamaica Stock Exchange JSE Investment and Capital Markets Conference.
The government will not socialize any debt, and we will not socialize the failure of our banks to be prudential and to protect their customers. Were we to do that, it would send a very bad signal to the banks and investment houses that they can be negligent and expect the bank to cover their negligence. That will not happen.
Mr. Holness argues that if the full force of the law is not applied in matters of this nature, the free and competitive financial market that distinguishes Jamaica from others in the region will not work.
It works when the players and actors know that they must operate at the highest standards of integrity and probity. If not, they will face the consequences of the law.
His comments come against the background of ongoing investigations at Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL, which has been at the center of an alleged multi-billion-dollar fraud. Insisting that those who are responsible must be held to account, the Prime Minister has instructed government entities transacting business with SSL to disclose their connections or association with the securities firm. Meanwhile, a court order obtained by the Financial Services Commission, FSC, has blocked the purported trustees and directors of Stocks and Securities Limited from winding up the company. The injunction will be in place until February 17. A temporary manager has been appointed by the FSC, while fraud investigations are being carried out at the firm. A statement from the Ministry of Finance on Wednesday says the SSL, on or about January 16, applied to the company's Office of Jamaica for a member's voluntary winding up. However, the court order has restrained SSL from winding up or dissolving the company and liquidating the assets. SSL is also barred from reorganizing the company or its operations in any form. In addition, the company is not allowed to dispose of or deal with assets and liabilities in SSL's name or that of clients, nor withdraw, transfer, or dissipate any funds in its name wherever held. The injunction also prevents SSL from interfering with the acts of servants or agents of the FSC and the temporary manager, and requires the company to comply and cooperate with these individuals. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke remains steadfast that a full and transparent investigation will be done.
No stone will be left unturned. The investigative authorities have full operational independence and will pursue the facts wherever they may lead. Having spoken with some of those leading the investigation, I can say that they are resolute and determined to unravel its complexities and bring all responsible to justice.
In other news, approximately 100 persons will be employed at the new German Ship Repair Jamaica GSRJ facility when it's fully completed in October. The $37 million development was launched on Tuesday. Chief Executive Officer Lieutenant Colonel Martin Rickman says there are multiple employment opportunities that are of high standard. He says the GSRJ has already done certain levels of training with some of the employees.
Some have even gotten to the international certification standards already. And it is our intent to continue with this program with the HART and CMU who are here present to build on this partnership further to get more people in for the training.
A 2-year internship apprenticeship model will be applied in the recruitment process. This will include 12 months of practical training in all required areas and 12 months of apprenticeship during which persons will gain on-the-job training and experience with international shipping companies and other industries. The repair shipyard will provide mechanical, electrical, electronic, and hydraulic services.
If you look over to the right, to the gypsum quarry, there's a ship that is parked alongside. At the end of the day, we here at GSRJ Shipyard will be able to lift that ship out of the water to conduct many types of works on the hull, the propeller shaft work, engine repairs, and the entire 9 yards of that. So this is significant for us.
The Ministry of Health has reached an agreement with the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service to boost the cadre of specialized health staff at medical institutions. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton made the disclosure during a forum held at the Terra Nova Hotel on Tuesday.
Our current assessment suggests a total of over 2,500 posts which have been requested, and some agreement reached with the Ministry of Finance as part of its public sector restructuring arrangements for improvements in the numbers of our cadre of doctors. This is an effort to strengthen the overall health system to deal with all the matters, including overcrowding and other issues.
He says that, as much as possible, adjustments will be made to move the staff complement towards achieving the World Health Organization (WHO) standard of 1 nurse to 1 to 2 babies for newborns receiving intensive care and 1 nurse to 3 babies for newborns receiving intermediate care. And finally, a contract has been signed with Actuaries Eckler Jamaica Limited to design an insurance scheme for entertainers and culture and creative industry practitioners. The firm has been contracted through the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport and is slated to take 6 months to design the scheme and make its recommendations.
We're really happy to have been able to sign the contract today and get them going. And in another 6 months, we will be in a better position to indicate what that insurance policy will provide.
Minister Grange says the scheme will seek to mimic the excellent program currently in place for sports personalities. Under the Jamaica Athletes Insurance Program, national athletes in various disciplines benefit from group health, group life, and personal accident coverage. In order to benefit from the new scheme, entertainment, culture, and creative industry practitioners must be signed up to the ministry's e-registry via its website. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
So many wish they could visit our shores. We live where they vacation. Brand Jamaica beckons all from the 4 corners of the earth.
Well, as a Jamaican, I have great pride in selling it. Your pride that you sell Jamaica with is something that it rolls off. Jamaica has so much to offer, and every time I have the privilege of bringing an executive down to Jamaica, an executive from an airline or a tour operator or a travel agency, and you take them across the country, the pride that they said, wow, I can't imagine, especially when it's their first time. Wow, I love this.
Build it. Cherish it. Our wealth is Brand Jamaica.
We began this year by formalizing for Jamaica the permanent home for her foreign ministry.
From the walls of this new building, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade was able to stand taller and stronger as it firmly executed its missions in 2022. In the past year, one of the major mandates of the ministry was to rescue several Jamaicans stranded in foreign territories.
Our effort to repatriate students who had to flee Ukraine following Russia's invasion was ultimately successfully executed under very difficult circumstances.
We're just happy that we're home. I'm very grateful to be here right now.
In November, the ministry also repatriated 33 Jamaican fishermen who had been detained for illegally fishing in Colombian waters.
Our bilateral relations remain strong and formidable. We have strengthened existing partnerships and engaged new ones.
A new agreement was entered with the Caribbean Export Development Agency to bolster the productivity and export competitiveness of the Jamaican coffee sector. The ministry partnered with the United Nations to attain sustainable development goals following the signing of the 2022-2026 Multi-Country Sustainable Development Convention framework. Bilateral relations between Jamaica and South Africa were enhanced with the signing of a joint communique. A memorandum of understanding was signed with Trinidad and Tobago to provide companies in both countries with a transparent and predictable means of addressing export challenges. Another MOU was signed with Namibia to strengthen cooperation in the areas of education, health, culture, entertainment, agriculture, and mining.
Today, Jamaica maintains diplomatic relations with 174 countries of the 193 members of the UN. The ministry has also played a significant role in engaging with the Jamaican diaspora and in promoting and protecting the welfare of Jamaicans wherever they reside.
The 9th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference was successfully convened after being postponed in 2021 due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. And the National Diaspora Policy was approved by Cabinet, with the white paper subsequently tabled in the Senate. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade closed its 2022 chapter with several winning streaks and a commitment to continuously play a critical role
in helping Jamaica achieve development and prosperity.
Hey Anna, what's up?
Girl, me just get someone for jury duty, but me don't want to have anything to do with courthouse.
This is your chance to help someone get justice. Plus, you can learn about the court system and serve the country.
And since when a regular smaddy like me get called for jury duty?
Well, once you're between 18 and 70, your name is on the voters list, or you have a TRN, them can summon you.
Contact the Court Administration Division for further information at 876-754-8337 or visit the Supreme Court website at www.supremecourt.gov.jm.
Brought to you by the Justice Undertakings for Social Transformation Program, a project funded by Global Affairs Canada.
Up next, the Financial Investigations Division, FID, talks about preventing and investigating money laundering in Jamaica through the Proceeds of Crime Act.
Do you know someone who scams or was scammed out of their wealth? As at August 2022, just under $1 billion in assets that are suspected to be criminal property have been restrained and managed by the Financial Investigations Division, FID. The FID plays an important role in preventing and investigating money laundering, fraud, lottery scamming, and other financial crimes within Jamaica. Under the Proceeds of Crime Act, POCA, the FID's investigative and asset recovery powers have increased, and they have established compliance responsibilities for financial institutions. Hi, I am Shaquille Rochester Shorter, and welcome to Finance Matters. Today we have Mr. Courtney Smith, Director of Legal Services at FID. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow the Ministry of Finance on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn to see all the episodes and highlights. Thanks for coming on our show today. What is the FID's mandate?
The FID's mandate is to remove simply the proceeds from criminal activity. Our mandate involves maintaining statistics, advising the government minister, portfolio minister with respect to financial crime matters, as well as to actively pursue the proceeds of crime, manage them, and remove them from criminal hands.
How important was it for the government to have implemented POCA?
It was very important. Jamaica doesn't reside in a vacuum. We're an island, we're not on our own. We're part of an international community with international rules of law that we must follow. It's a part of international requirements. Our partners right across the globe are moving in this direction, and Jamaica, being a signatory to certain treaties, was mandated to pass laws like the Proceeds of Crime Act.
So, being at FID, tell me a big win for FID.
A big win is seeing proceeds of criminal activity flowing from a parish council, upwards of 250 million.
Interesting.
Yes. We participated in the investigation, prosecution, and recovery process in that regard, and we are looking towards recovering up to about $250 million of government funds that were misappropriated.
Wow. Interesting that you mentioned that, Mr. Smith, but tell me more about how FID is tackling lottery scamming.
Well, it's a multifaceted approach. FID doesn't tackle any financial crime, especially one as important and as international and far-reaching as lottery scamming, on our own. We have partners locally and abroad, the JCF, MOCA, DEA in the US, the US Postal Services. We link with them on a regular basis to investigate and prosecute lottery scamming activities.
So we understand that it's a collaborative effort on the part of FID. You mentioned the DEA in the United States. Yes. What are some tips that you can give to people to protect themselves from lottery scamming?
The first thing is, if you didn't buy a ticket, you don't stand a chance. So if somebody calls you to ask you to send money to them for some prize that you allegedly won that you didn't pay for, just hang up the phone. That's the first thing. If you have received such a call, you feel free to contact any law enforcement agency, because you never know if that call will lead us. The second thing is that you must be aware, educate yourself about what the laws are. If it sounds fishy, it probably is fishy, and just by participating in it, just know that you also can end up being charged for money laundering related offenses. So just be aware of your own liabilities and act accordingly. If it sounds like a scam, just by participating in it, you may expose yourself.
How can persons report financial crimes?
Financial crimes reporting has become a lot easier. In addition to the usual Crime Stop and 311 and so on, you can contact the FID directly, 928-5141, or you can visit our website and contact us there, www.fid.gov.jm. You can also send us messages through our social media contacts, FID Jamaica.
Where can Jamaicans find more information about financial crimes, just to be aware and knowledgeable?
Well, the website I mentioned earlier, as well as our social media handles, as well as you can watch our short film Easy Go on YouTube. You'll learn something there, and there's a vibrant comment section that you can discuss issues.
Yeah, we can participate in it. Well, thank you, Mr. Smith, for coming on our program today and telling us about FID's mandate and its role in protecting one's asset.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us on this episode of Finance Matters. Remember to follow us on social media at MOF Jamaica, and tune in next week as we continue to demystify the economic and fiscal policies and initiatives implemented by the government to empower Jamaicans as we chart a path to Jamaica's economic prosperity.
Breast milk is the ideal food for babies and can satisfy all the infant's nutritional needs for the first 6 months of life. It provides much needed antibodies to protect them against all kinds of infections. Babies exclusively breastfed have less episodes of diarrhea, acute respiratory infection, and skin conditions. Breastfeeding also benefits mommies too, through decreased risk of breast and ovarian cancers, improved postpartum recovery, and reduced iron loss. Breastfeed your baby to give him or her the best start for a healthy life. Remember, breastfeeding is best.
Science is all around us and has been making our lives easier, whether we know it or not. Next, we learn about some of the careers in this important and diverse field.
Science is an essential cornerstone in the creation of a modern society.
As the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology pursues its mission to increase the popularization of science in schools, we're highlighting one of the many careers that one can undertake in this field. Nuclear science involves applying nuclear techniques to investigate and study different fields. Here in Jamaica, nuclear techniques have been applied to conduct studies in areas such as agriculture, health, and climate change. Unfortunately, the field of nuclear science is largely male-dominated, but there are females out there who have been doing great work and have solidified their space.
I work in the nuclear analytical lab. I started out in engineering and transitioned into this field, so it wasn't exactly on my radar. I wasn't told about it in high school, and it wasn't something I knew really existed per se, which is what we're trying to change here, to get people aware that there is this field that exists and is actually here. So I had the privilege of seeing an opening and I applied. I love projects. I love investigating. For me specifically, I love marine and atmospheric studies, which is how I use nuclear science to investigate the marine environment and urban air quality. It's been fun. No 2 days are the same, which works for me. And it definitely requires passion and interest because the field is constantly changing. There's always something new to learn, while there are things that are established. Like in science in general, science also continues to present new information, and that new information can change how you do certain things or maybe how you look at future projects. So it requires that you constantly read. It requires that you're constantly open to really, understanding why is it that you're doing what you're doing and how it actually can help solve the bigger picture, not just doing it for the sake of doing it. Science in general is a male-dominated field. It's for sure, that is exactly how it is. It's why the UN has the International Day for Women and Girls in Science, to encourage the changing of that situation. Personally, I've never really been daunted by the fact that it's male-dominated because it's something that I'm interested in, so I pursued it irrespective of that position. And so I'd encourage girls not to look at the fact that it's mostly men. Look at it as, okay, since it's mostly men, I will find my place. You can find, for everybody in this field, you can find your place and to learn from them. The men that I work with here are incredible. They teach you, they are open to, helping you to learn and to understand. And for me, who was transitioning from another career into nuclear science, something that I didn't study in my undergrad, they were pivotal in helping me to understand how to do things. I didn't have a female in this lab to work with. So males can be allies as well. So it doesn't have to be a male versus female thing. I think it's just to stay open. Don't get discouraged. I wasn't a huge fan of chemistry in high school, and yet a lot of my job has to do with chemistry. But I think things change, Sometimes it's a teacher that you're exposed to. Sometimes it's just a stage in your life. You might prefer a particular subject, but don't feel daunted by the task at all. Just still pursue what you are interested in.
Allowed to speak for myself. They make all the decisions.
I'm not allowed to go anywhere by myself. They're afraid I'll escape.
See how my hand and face bruise up?
Them beat me cause me say me tired.
Victims of human trafficking are all around us and they need our help. Forced labor is one of the many forms of human trafficking. If you see something, say something. Report suspected cases of human trafficking. Call the nearest police station, 119 or 888-PROTECT. As a nation, we grow off the hard work of our forefathers. They paved the way for us to thrive, and it's only right that we do the same for future generations.
Our future is being planted and nurtured in a school known for producing long-serving teachers for our educational system. But before getting in the classroom, a teacher first has to grow through real-world experiences and purposeful integration of theory and practice to develop the habit of teacher-like thinking.
We believe in the development of the wholesome man at Shortwood, and this activity will help to develop that wholesomeness. So they'll be exposed to skills and competencies that they can take away and that can complement their teaching career as they leave this noble institution to go and serve the world.
And to serve the global community, the understanding is to know the practice of planting, reaping, and waiting for harvesting, a skill that, while challenging, leads to patience.
There's no success without challenge, and you have to overcome it at some point in your life. It is good to set yourself a goal. Do not let any individuals, direct you off that path with negative thoughts. So it is best to just keep focused on one thing, and then you just see where that goes.
Also, your input influences your output. This means that the more we care for the crops, the more we'll gain a greater yield.
The farm at Shortwood Teachers College is nothing new. We started a farm in about 2006, thereabouts. At that time, I should say, we did grow different plants, and our current farm manager was one of the students engaged in that back then.
And with his gained experiences, he returned to the institution to plant the seed for sustainable development through food cultivation.
One of the first things I did was to do a needs assessment. What are the vegetables that we utilize in the canteen? And so we ensure that whatever we have, we supply the canteen so we don't need to get those food items externally. Currently we have pumpkin, as you're seeing here, I have one in my hand. We have tomato, we have corn, we have pak choy, scotch bonnet pepper, cucumber, cocoa, we have dasheen, and we would have also planted sweet pepper in the past. We have green bananas currently, and we also have plantains.
I know that Shortwood Teachers College and the Ministry of Education and Youth, we've been strengthening our relationships over the years, over the decades. Please continue to do so. There's a lot of work ahead of us, still transformation, much transformation ahead of us, and we are going to need our teachers' colleges to be with us lockstep in terms of that transformation.
Beyond imparting knowledge, cultivating and supporting students' growth also depends on the knowledge and abilities gained through tilling the soil to set roots deep enough for students to not only thrive, but do so without breaking.
This is where our journey ends, but only for today. Join us again tomorrow when we bring you another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. On behalf of the production crew, I am Theodore Henry. Take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.